Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mission Imagination. We're happy to have with us today Andrea Mocellin. Andrea started his career in automotive design, and his interest in mobility led him to explore transportation and accessibility. He has now begun his own company that has developed a folding wheelchair that's the size of a small carry-on bag. Hello Andrea, thank you for joining us.
Hello everyone, nice to see you and nice to meet you today.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Can you tell us a bit more about your journey into design and engineering?
To start my story as mobility designer innovator, everything started by growing up in a small village in Italy where it was really difficult to reach different destinations. That's why I gained this kind of passion about movement and mobility. And I've been graduated back in 2009 at Royal College of Art in London. And from there, I started my career as car designer for the biggest brand in Italy, from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo Maserati, where I was in charge of the exterior design of those lineup of product. But afterward, I was really passionate about mobility in general. That's why I've been consulting for a few years between Italy, Asia, and North America through Grand Studio before moving to Munich, where actually I found my home, basically because I could work in aviation with Lilium, where I was leading the design of their aircraft, this electric takeoff and landing aircraft. In NEO, which is specialized in electric cars, also innovating in terms of autonomous driving. And basically my own company, Revolve Mobility, which is specialized in accessibility.
What led you to focus on this area of mobility, which is more accessible mobility?
Yeah, basically Revolve Mobility has the mission to make the world smaller to everyone. So I started basically as an independent project with Revolve Air wheelchair, which is the most compact wheelchair ever made, basically through the 2 foldable wheels. And this project born from the need to really shape something useful, shape something that can improve people's life. To do so, we wanted to create something unique, something that was never been done before, which means also experimenting, innovating, and try to work closely with a wheelchair user to understand what is the biggest issue they are facing in their everyday life. Means jumping their car every day, taking a flight, moving between different type of transportation. And normally when you design a product, you design the product to be used just in that moment, not thinking about too much about the connectivity that this product is bringing in the system of transportation. And I believe Revolve is trying to focus on this point, like to try to be the perfect connection between aircraft, cars, and bike, everything that the wheelchair user tend to use, as we are global travelers and everyone needs to travel freely and in the most comfortable way possible.
How do you balance this functionality of a foldable wheelchair with its aesthetics and the sustainable side of it, which is a major focus in your work?
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, because when I started the project basically independently, before finding, of course, partners and investors in the project, the mission was really to reinvent the wheel, which is also a game of words. It was important because in the wheelchair sector, especially, of course, active wheelchairs, which is not powered by an engine, the size of the wheel is really the biggest part almost of the wheelchair itself. And when you travel, it is always an obstacle. That's why basically I started to reframe the wheel in the way that can be foldable, almost by trying out thousands of solutions by physical prototypes and digital prototypes, before ending up with a solution that can allow it, when the 2 wheels are close to each other, to have the frame on top and making the wheelchair looking both aesthetically pleasant, both when folded and unfolded. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to have edgy or unpleasant product around you, especially if you have to sit on it 24 hours per day, and is basically the extension of your legs. That's why Revolve is also play around what I learned, my experience as a mobility designer. So shaping aesthetically a product that has to be sold, of course, has to be in the market, And people has to desire. They also have to feel proud to wear it and use it in everyday life. So I always like to compare a bit the work done with Revolve with the advent of the Vespa, which allowed actually the female to drive scooters in a really innovative way in the past, of course, in Italy. And I like this cultural breakthrough of mobility, and that's where I try to work to create a social combination between product innovation and usability for the customer.
And I know that you have also been focused on an intellectual property strategy for your wheelchair specifically. Can you tell us a bit more how IP is helping you develop your product?
Basically, everything starting from the patent. So, of course, when you start a project, you want to show it to the world, you want to discuss it with partners. You can still sign NDAs, but you never know, especially when the technology could have a big impact in the world. So, of course, back in 2015, when I applied the first patent at the time for the foldable wheels, I had to learn a lot. But what I understood that there is a lot of processes that you can learn and use to protect your ideas based on the scale that, of course, you want to evolve your ideas in the world or in your region. And the patent really helped me a lot. First of all, to gain credibility when I was speaking with the partners, because of course, going to a meeting with few patent is different than going with a few sketches of your idea. So in that case, the patent really helped me to gain the possibility to open doors with big OEMs as we collaborated also with Toyota, Allianz, Iberia Airlines. So of course they were really interested because we had a really strong IP DNA on our company. And especially now when I'm speaking about India, Africa, and basically the really worldwide, I'm happy that actually we took this strategy and we really play along all the structure of the patent and the possibility to make the patent basically or key aspect of the business.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Andrea.
Thanks to you, and it was great to meet you.
As Andrea has told us, sustainable mobility is more than just a trend. It's a necessity for the future of our cities and our planet. Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned for the next Mission Imagination.